Alright, hello out there everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make another simple, great meal. Before we've showed you some quick sautés and whatnot, now we're actually going to show you how to make homemade pasta, show you how easy it is, and show you that you don't have to have a pasta cutter and KitchenAid to do all this stuff. You can actually do it with a rolling pin and by hand. First thing you're going to want to do is make your pasta, because you want your dough to set for a little bit. This is very simple. You're going to take about 3 cups flour, 3 eggs. These are from Lexington. Real fresh farm eggs will make a huge difference in the flavor of your pasta. You're just going to use the yolk. So in this, 6 yolks. These yolks were small. They're going to be different sizes. It's kind of the beauty and joy of using farm. Take about a full tablespoon of oil. Get yourself a fork. Just stir it on up. Now, you've seen people make this with a mound on the table. Then you can do it that way. This just takes a lot of the fuss and a lot of the cleaning out of it. Two fingers, and then just slowly pull the flour in from the sides. You're gonna say, well, how do I know when it's done, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, most of the flour will become incorporated. Pasta is all about feel when you make it. You just, over time, you'll just know when it's ready. What pasta's gonna do is it's gonna start to get tough. It's gonna start to not hold as well. At this point, take your dough, just knead it a little bit. Now, when you start to feel it kind of push back on you, only go a few more times because you never want to over-knead your pasta or it's tough and it's not silky and smooth and delicious. So, now you have pasta dough. You can see how incredibly simple that is actually to do. So let that rest. Today we're going to use squash blossoms. It's actually the blossom of the squash. Those you don't have to do anything to. Just make sure they're washed. Take your squash. Just going to roughly dice it up. And then we're also going to use whole cherry tomatoes. You can see all the different colors. You get different forms of acidity and sweetness through each one, and what makes it great is the pasta has a different flavor as you go about it, even though it is uniform. So, take your dough after it's rested a little bit, and lightly flour your work surface. That way it doesn't stick. Right. And you're just going to roll her out. Now you're going to say, pasta has to be probably really thin when you roll it out. Yes, it does. So doing it by hand takes a little longer, but you have a lot more control over what you're doing. So there's different ways to cut noodles, and they have different names. Today, we're going to do a pappardelle, which is a thicker noodle. I like it when it's done to be sitting about a 3/4 inch cook. So, you got it rolled out. As you can see, it's nice and thin. Here's how easy it is to cut your noodles. 3 strips. Get yourself a little flour. Now, why I'm putting it on top, because of individually cutting the whole thing, I can get it nice and uniform by simply giving it a few folds, and taking my knife, and just going across the pasta. So we're going to pull it all apart, make sure there's no sticking. Now we're about to head over to the stove, and one thing you need to know when cooking with fresh pasta as opposed to dry pasta, cooks very quickly, as in about a minute, minute and a half, especially with a hard boil in your water, whereas you probably cook dry pasta at home and said, this takes 10 minutes. Not so the case with fresh pasta. So, we have our pasta, we have our strainer and our boiling water ready to go. Now, first things first, take your squash, throw it right in. A little bit of oil in there. Do a nice little saute of squash. Add the next ingredient, our lovely little tomatoes. And we just want to warm all this up. Then we're going to take white wine. A little bit of butter. once the butter starts to cook into our wine, that's literally building our sauce. So when the butter's melted out, take your fresh cooked noodles that you just made, strain them out, right in. And just start tossing all that goodness in. Now at this stage, throw in your lovely squash blossoms. Finish with a little more butter. A little more seasoning. And that's literally it. A little fresh summer pasta, friends, family. Some of those lovely vegetables right on top. Now of course you can always put a little Parmesan cheese, fresh herbs, add anything else you like to it. But as you can see, it's quick, simple, beautiful light summer dish. Enjoy.